The number one rule in business: don't die. You can scale fast, you can land massive clients, but none of it matters if you run out of cash. This is the unsexy truth behind why most businesses fail. And today we're going to show you exactly why these businesses survive and win by mastering this one simple truth: don't die. As a fractional CFO, I've helped dozens of business owners navigate everything from tax chaos to near bankruptcy. The entrepreneur who lasts and thrive, they're the ones who survive the longest. But survival isn't a passive thing, it's a skill. And in this video, I'm going to show you how to build a business that refuses to die, no matter what the market throws at you. We're going to go over 3 big business killers and 3 strategies central to survival. Let me take you back to one business I worked with. They're growing fast, cash was coming in, they looked completely unstoppable until a big client didn't show up. They didn't pay. Payroll was due in 3 days. They didn't have the cash. I watched as this founder spiraled, maxing out credit cards, negotiating vendor terms, calling in all sorts of favors, trying to do whatever he could do to make that payroll. All because they were flying blind without cash. They didn't die, but they came really, really close. And they learned the hard way that profit does not equal cash. That brings us to killer number 1. Running out of cash is the first killer. You have to understand your ebbs and flows of cash in a business. The bank balance is not safety. You never know what's coming around that corner. Cash is your oxygen in a business, and when it runs out, everything else becomes irrelevant. I worked with another company once, and they had a solid core business growing steadily. Then came a can't miss acquisition, then a new product line, then another project. 2 years later, the acquisition failed. The new division was dying and struggling. They didn't die, but they set themselves back 2 years. Every shiny object had pulled them off track and drained their resources. Business killer number 2 is chasing too many things. Strategic whiplash will kill you faster than a bad quarter. Every new incentive pulls cash, people, and focus, and death comes slowly from 1,000 cuts of distraction. Slowly and then all at once. Have you ever talked to someone who has a disaster on their hands, but is talking about it like it's no big deal? You want to just shake them and say, wake up, wake up. This brings us to business killer number 3, ignoring risks until it's too late. That tax reserve you didn't fund, the ballooning debt you didn't plan for, the key employee who walked out with everything in their head. One small cut after another until the bleeding can't be stopped. So how do we combat these 3 killers? First, we build a 13-week cash forecast. Every Monday, pull numbers, look at cash in, cash out, 90 days forward. It's not sexy work, but it buys you time, and in business, time is life. You'll track and predict your incoming AR, forecast revenue, and plan out your expenses. During this process, you get to know all of your business in an intimate way, unlike any other process you can do. You see, I've got a template here. I'll share that in the comments so that you can pull this and start this process for yourself today. The next way we can combat this is use a strategic filter on your decisions. Make decisions through a strategic lens. Most businesses don't die from lack of opportunity, but from a lack of clarity. Every new project, product, or partnership feels exciting, but excitement doesn't mean it's a fit. Before you say yes to anything that's new, ask, does it align with our long-term plan? And do we have cash, people, and the focus to support it? If not, if the answer is no, even if it feels like it should be a yes, you need to say no. Survival isn't about doing everything. It's about doing and saying no to most things. And the last don't die strategy is build a cash reserve. Cash reserves are boring until you need them. You don't build cash reserves because you're scared. You build them because uncertainty is inevitable. Recessions, tax surprises, slow sales, and late payments. It's a matter of if something unexpected happens, not when. When you need this cash, that reserve is the difference between a hard month and a death spiral. Your reserve cash is your life insurance. I like to put them in 3 different buckets. First, we have the operating cash. This is for the day-to-day expenses that we have. Next, we have that reserve cash. That's for the oh crap moments that we want to set aside a certain amount of money to make sure that we're prepared for those difficult times in business. This is the emergency fund. Again, it's not if you'll need it, it's when you'll need it. And then the third bucket is the strategic cash. This is the stuff that you set aside for growth, capital expenditure, and investments. We also do not forget the tax bucket. We're going to throw this in there with reserve cash, but we're going to allocate it separately, make sure it's set aside, maybe even removed from the business completely. We want to have that reserve cash, that tax money set aside to make sure we don't end up with a payment we didn't expect. You didn't start your business to play defense, but founders who win are the ones still playing the game. Durability isn't weakness, it's a competitive advantage. So ask yourself, where am I flying blind? What would kill this business in the next 30 days? And what am I assuming will go right that could go wrong? Then build the systems to make sure you stay alive. Because remember, the goal is don't die. My goal with these videos is to help your business breathe, grow, and survive the chaos that can be this cash struggle. If you need help to implement these systems, reach out and we'd love to help. A link to book a call is in the description. Thanks again, and I hope that we will talk soon.